Welcome to Finding Monster Right. Show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I've found that I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To get some of those monorail tests, to train them is my cause. And my name is Adam.
I'm on a master quest. I'm on my way to victory.
Pokemon.
I can be a champion if I just believe. I'm Allie.
And we're back talking Pokemon.
We're back talking Pokemon. Hey, Nidoran male.
Get away from that Chikorita.
Fuck you, Nidoran male. Gender's a social construct.
Stop taking up your own slot in the Pokedex.
Yeah, they put gender differences in the game. Fuck. Whatever. Yeah. Gender is a social construct unless you're talking about Venusaur's seed.
We're doing another Pokemon special for our 50th episode.
50.
How about it?
Nifty 50.
Specifically, we're combining this with something that we discovered during our Squonk episode.
Yes.
It's called Battle Frontier. How to be a Pokemon master in 1910.
Way back in old-timey times, there was a book published. A book that would change lives and religions.
That book is called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, with a few desert and mountain beasts.
There we go.
It's like 14 words long.
Well, it's like the original title of Robinson Crusoe is some insane, like... Robinson Crusoe. I stretch it out because of the Gilligan's Island theme song. The life and strange, surprising adventures of Robinson Crusoe of York, mariner, who lived 8 and 20 years all alone in an uninhabited island on the coast of America near the mouth of the great river of Orinoco, having been cast on shore by shipwreck, wherein all the men perished but himself, with an account how he was at last strangely delivered by pirates, written by himself.
Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, for short, was a fantasy field guide from 1910.
Yes.
Turn of the century. And it's basically, what's it, like kind of, you would call it tall tales?
Yeah, it's a work of fantasy. It's a work of fiction.
Like kind of joke animals.
Yeah, it's kind of like a compilation of stories that like lumberjacks would tell around the lumberjack equivalent of a fire. I don't know if they make regular fires, because like what do they burn?
Big fires.
No.
Big expensive fires.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money and time chopping down all that wood. They're just gonna burn it? I don't think so.
People would sit in their patio that they construct.
Find something else to burn.
We have several sources and lists of what the contents of this book, and several editions that have added ones throughout the ages. First, I think we should also talk about Pokemon as well.
Yes, this was a thing in our Toby episode where like
we kind of got right into it.
This boy over here and Toby, who are like professional, like. Adam has a pattern of birthmarks on his back that looks exactly like Mega Alakazam. Okay, this dude breathes Pokemon.
Yeah.
So like they went into like, oh yeah, well that reminds me of how the number of flanges around the rim of a Shroomish matches the exact number of pixels in a Porygon 2. It's like, or we just explain what a Pikachu is for the people that don't know.
Yeah, Pokemon is a series that is all across pop culture that began in the mid-90s with a couple of games on the Game Boy that's posited, it's a Pokemon region where children trainers raise these wild creatures, these wild monsters that they capture in small devices called Pokéballs. They put them in their pocket monster, Pokemon.
Yeah.
You travel around the region going through 8 gyms. You get badges from each of them, go through a Pokemon League, probably fight a villain team like Team Rocket or Team Snag'em along the way. And you become the champion. That's the essence of the game. It's about training and raising all these different monsters in the region. They evolve into larger, bigger monsters. And they're often inspired by animals and folklore from our world.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a magnet. Sometimes it's a magnet.
Sometimes it's a pile of rocks.
Yeah.
What they started doing, starting with the second generation, they would go to a different part of the world and replicate the map there. The first 4 generations are all about different areas of Japan, but then they go to Unova, which is like the United States. They go to Kalos, which is like France, the Hawaiian Isles, England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they take like a different part of the real world and they make a Pokemon region out of it, like a fictionalization of real life.
So we're going to combine these 2 ideas. The fearsome critters of the Lumberwoods, this frontier land of America that wasn't explored. Unova was like a New York parallel.
Yeah.
That, as well as the like seeing how these crazy creatures would apply in a Pokemon world.
Yeah, we're gonna give them some types. We're gonna talk about like the roles that they would have in a Pokemon game. Like, are they the Route 1 rodent type thing, like the Rattatas or the Bidoofs? Are they a legendary, like Zapdos or something?
Are they one of the starters?
Why the hell was Zapdos my poll for legendary Pokemon?
In the middle of a trio.
My least favorite legendary. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm pretty torn.
Yeah, so we'll land them in the world, and then I think at the end we're gonna piece together the rest of the region, everything that's left over.
I'm pretty undecided, but decidedly pretty. I've always wanted to do that, and I fucked it up.
All right, so we've got a list of about 50 monsters here. This is our second 2-parter.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're making this one a 2-parter. The first 2-parter that we intended.
And let's just go through this in alphabetical order.
Our first boy,
the Aggro Pelter.
Aggro Pelter. I can't say Aggro Pelter use Bubble Beam. Okay.
you will do that for every single one.
Brachvi Potentis Craniofractans, which I think is intended to mean head-breaking, powerful arm.
It's a creature of the Northwoods, resentful for intrusion of the lumberjacks. So it attacks back.
Yes, with underwater goggles. So it looks like kind of a...
You've got a depiction there, right, from the 80th edition?
Yes, it looks kind of like an ape type thing.
He's got a big old stick.
And what he does is he just throws down logs at people, it seems.
Arms like muscular whiplashes, which that would clearly be his like a signature move.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I am slightly inspired by I believe it's Groki, the new grass starter.
Oh yeah.
Who goes on to basically be a big green monkey that has a big bat.
So are we saying grass and fighting?
I think grass fighting is a good combo.
Grass fighting is good typing. This strikes me, but Tish, like a single evolution that you get like
mid-game,
yeah,
like a Tropius.
Yeah, like I was thinking Tropius exactly. Yes.
All right, mid-game single evolution.
Like doesn't evolve into anything. Already kind of okay, but doesn't get any better than that. I think it would live
in the tree parts.
It would live in the tree parts.
It seems like a Pokemon that would like block your path as you're going somewhere else.
Oh yes.
Because he is against people walking there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's one of those path blockers. Cool. Well, there you go. Let's move on to our next animal. Next animal that we're going to turn to Pokemon. The Axe Handle Hound.
The Axe Handle Hound.
The image is of imagine like a wiener dog. Except even skinnier.
A wiener dog, but more.
But less.
A dachshund.
Yeah.
Canis consumens, which I think just means eating dog. Okay, so the bane of supply and depot camps, northern logging operations. Has a head shaped like a PV axe. The body is slender and axe handle shaped with short, stumpy legs. Looks a good deal like a dachshund, but really bears a closer resemblance to B.B. Bickford's bureau dog. I don't know what that is. Distinctly a nocturnal prowler. Frequents the camps after nightfall hunting for axe and PV handles, of which it is voracious fond.
It eats axe handles.
They make knight's pets, but are costly to feed. Jim Peters once tamed one. I love Jim. Always taming weird dogs. That Jim.
My first thought is this is something maybe akin to like a snubble. Something early in the game, possibly some kind of normal type.
I see this evolving.
Oh yeah, and he turns into something that like eats something bigger than axes.
Yes. Maybe one of our future creatures on this list will be more. It's a dark type because it steals things and it hangs out at night.
I think it makes sense. You don't think he's a normal type?
Dark normal?
Dark normal?
Dark normal.
Okay.
We can't make all of these dual types.
No.
It's hard because often things are more than one thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if they run into that problem in real life.
He could be something a little closer to domestic areas than the other ones.
I would say like early in the game.
Domestic early game.
Early game, yeah.
Cool. Not like a Houndour that's really tough to find later in the game.
Yeah.
It's like a Snubble. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Ball-tailed cat.
This is a fun one. Felis Candaglobosa. I am not sure what panda means off the top of my head. Globosa just means like a ball. So it could be like Cauda globosa, like they meant. And then it just means like, cat with a ball tail.
A feline similar to a mountain lion, except with a long tail with a bulbous end, used for striking its prey.
There we go.
It already looks like a Pokemon, I gotta say.
Recent surveys indicate that it is now pretty well confined to Harney County, Oregon, and Sullivan County, Pennsylvania. So this is a cat that was once widespread and is now not as much. So a fair-sized animal about the dimensions of a wild cat, does not narrow it down, but with a far more aggressive disposition. Its chief physical characteristics include surprise and almost fanatical devotion to the Pope. A hardy, heavy, bony ball at the end of its tail. Hardy, heavy, bony ball. I love that Red Hot Chili Peppers album. The feet are clawed as with all true cats, making it an excellent climber. And this species has the stealthy habit of lying out on a limb, and when the unsuspecting lumberjack passes beneath, the cat drops on its victim and pounds him to death with the ball. Jeez.
Do you think that's a rock type or a steel type?
Ooh. Hardy, heavy, bony ball. I say rock.
Rock. Okay.
I think bone is rock.
And you'd find him like mid-game in like the mountain area.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It does not say that this is a mountain beast, but I have to say it is.
And
otherwise they're all going to be in the woods.
It does feel like a second evolution.
Yeah.
Or final evolution?
It has often been confused with both the silver cat and the dingmall. So let's pay attention to that.
Okay, and
it's quite possible that they are all distantly related. Perhaps the ball-tailed boy. The ball-tailed boy is a less highly developed variant of the same phylum. Oh my God, they called him a ball-tailed boy. I just call things boys.
All right, we'll circle back to his role and how it relates once we learn the other two.
Who wrote this book again?
We should probably mention him at least. William T. Cox.
Right, William T. Cox. I like William T. Cox. I like his style. Ball-tailed boy. What's next on the list?
The next animal here is going to be the belled buzzard.
Belled buzzard.
Strictly on Wikipedia.
A wiki exclusive right there.
Belled buzzard is a vulture with a bell affixed, the ringing of which is seen as an omen of disaster.
Ooh, a sound type. Sound type confirmed.
Well, it sounds like an Absol in a way, that Pokemon that shows up as an omen.
I want to say Dark Flying.
Dark Flying?
Kind of like the other vulture Pokemon, Mandibuzz and Volibeye.
Yep, Dark Flying works for me.
This seems like this has an evolution. This seems like this is kind of like Mandibuzz. This is a second evolution.
Yeah, second evolution.
Yeah, this is like one stage above your basic like baby egg thing.
And it's not like I would not call it the early bird.
No.
This is a specialty one.
Yeah, this is something you get later.
Maybe in the mountain area, too.
The belled buzzard originated from actual accounts of turkey vultures being fastened with cow or sleigh bells. Why?
I don't know.
Just in case you wanted to avoid like a creepy bird because you hate birds, I guess. Put this in like a deserty area because that's where I think of vultures, even though like I see vultures just damn everywhere. You know?
I got
you. Or you know what? No. Hang on. A major theme in the Pokemon franchise. Environmentalism, right?
Yes.
Especially like the Kanto games. Maybe this hangs out by like a garbage dump or something, and it has a bell that's an omen of disaster. Like they used to be in the desert to ward off travelers, and now they're like warding off like people that are doing pollution.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Bill's dad.
Bill Dad. This is a monster that's just called Bill Dad.
It's called Bill Dad.
Bill Dad, the science dad.
It's from the original. Believe it or not, this one did not make the cut for the 80th edition.
Bill.
Okay, we get it.
Okay.
His name's Bill.
That's William T. Cox's name, is Bill.
Is this William T. Cox's dad?
I can't imagine it isn't.
If you ever paddle around the boundary...
Here's an idea. Do an Obama impression.
That's...
Just do it. No.
I can't read this normally. I don't think Obama's going to help.
Yes, he is. Look, Obama also has a stutter, and what he does is he just takes big pauses.
If you have ever paddled around Boundary Pond in northwest Maine at night, You have probably heard from our black depths of a cove, a splat like a paddle striking the water. I don't know even what that is.
It was good.
Okay. May have been a paddle, but the chances are 10 to 1 that it was a Bildad fishing. This animal occurs only on the one pond in Hurricane Township. So
You're doing great.
Is
You're
about
doing
the
it, Peter.
is about the size of a beaver, but has long kangaroo-like hind legs,
Oh, dip.
short front legs, webbed feet, and heavy hawk-like bill.
Our first water type, it sounds like.
Yeah. Its mode of fishing is to crouch on a grassy point overlooking the water, and when the trout rises for a bug, to leap on it with amazing swiftness, just past the fish, bringing its heavy fish tail down with a resounding smack over him.
Dang.
It stuns the fish, which immediately picks up and eats by the bildad. It's been reported that 60 yards is the average jump for an adult male. So it's this froggy, bird-faced creature. It's like a kangaroo bird that swims. Definitely water. This might just be a weird water type.
I think this is a weird water type.
All right.
The region, obviously, this is somewhere near water.
Yeah. Near like the ponds.
Near pondy region.
Yeah, lakes and ponds.
Maybe like a wetlands.
Okay, I'll put that down. Wetlands. And it sounds like the roll. Krogunk comes to mind.
Like an underpowered, like some weird thing that they threw in there that's underpowered.
Yeah, it's like the Kecleon.
Yeah. Kecleon.
Yeah, underpowered weird one.
Yeah, like an underpowered weird one with a gimmick. Like it has some weird ability for sure that like stuns you every like round if some very specific condition has been met.
Yeah, it's got the gimmick roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that on paper they like, oh man, that's so cool, but they didn't really work it out mechanically.
Also, put under other notes, daddy issues.
Okay.
Because like there's no other reason William Cox named him.
Yeah, we'll unpack that later maybe. Cactus Cat.
Cactus Cat.
This is not a Studio Ghibli monster.
It looks like one.
It does. A feline of the American Southwest with hair-like thorns that intoxicates itself by the consumption of cactus water.
It'll quench you. It's quenchiest.
Yeah.
Once very common in the Southwest and well known in the Pueblo and Navajo country, now practically extinct, living chiefly in the memories of the few remaining old-timers, at one time frequently seen in the Great Cactus Districts. The Great Cactus Districts! Occasionally reported from Old Mexico. In old-timey times, they called it Old Mexico. Because they were like, we have a new one. Better get used to calling the old one.
Yeah, New Mexico was novel, so they had to make sure you knew which one they're talking about.
Yeah. You know, that Old Mexico, and now we remember. Now we know, right, that Mexico is a fighting place.
Yeah.
And New Mexico can be there. They can coexist. We don't have to replace Mexico.
What typing comes to mind with a cactus cat?
My first thought, grass fire. Just because it lives in a hot place and it's about...
Yeah, nothing in ground type at all?
The cat-like body is covered with thorny hair, which grows particularly long, sharp, and rigid on the ears and tail. The latter branches in cactus fashion, these branches having scattered thorny hair similar to those growing on the ears. The distal portions of the foreleg radial bones are formed into two sharp knife-like blades, which the cat skillfully employs in making deep, slanting slashes at the bases of the giant cacti. It performs a number of these operations, always in a circular beat, exactly 80 chains long. Wow. Poison?
Poison. Like a ground poison?
Maybe grass ground.
Grass ground.
Why are we saying ground?
It's a desert creature.
Desert creature to me says fire.
Alright. I like the poison. Maybe just a pure poison.
But he eats grass things.
Lots of things eat grass things.
Fuck, okay, good point. Damn, that's right though. They sure do. Maybe it's just grass. I don't know.
It's a grass type that lives in the desert, like a cacnea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are cacnea ever in like a sandstorm environment where like they get... Sandstorm is an environmental condition that slowly damages Pokemon that aren't ground, rock, or steel types.
Their ability keeps them from taking damage during a sandstorm.
Okay, good.
In the new Pokemon Snap, you can knock one into a tornado in the sand.
Do we want to give the Cactus Cat just a random rock type? Or steel, because it gets blades.
Oh, he does get blades. Yeah, sure. Let's bring him a grass steel.
Grass steel is cool.
Yeah. I also put him as his role's rare. He's rare, found in the desert.
Yep.
All right, next the Central American Wind Tosser.
All of their Central American strengths. None of their Pura Vida weaknesses.
Okay. So this is what they look like.
Oh, I know this. This is like a thing where like it's got legs all over it and it rolls around, so it's never on the ground.
I believe that's the case.
It's always on the ground. Never pushed over.
A fiend with 3 sets of legs. So to always land feet first. It literally they use the word fiend. Not a large beast, so it's small, but what lacks in size it makes up for in meanness of disposition. This is a mean boy. The body is a long triangular with 3 complete sets of legs. A great convenience in an earthquake country.
Oh, is this our ground type?
I think this is our ground type. Floor suddenly becomes the ceiling. It does not matter. It's always there with legs. This is absolutely a ground type. This seems like a Machop of sorts.
Oh, yeah.
Something you would find in a cave.
Rock ground?
Rock ground? Because he spends a lot of time with rocks and stuff.
Rock ground.
Rock ground, hangs out in caves. And I think that's it. Yeah, we're good. Following this is the Columbia River Snake Squink.
Ooh, the Colombian River...
Not to be confused with a squonk. We're talking about squinks.
Colombian River Sand Squink?
Yes, Colombian River Sand Squink.
There's a lot of words.
Yeah. This photo is of a rabbit. Yes?
It's like a fox with big ears, I think.
Oh, that's what you see?
Yes.
Okay.
I see a duck. Do you see a rabbit?
Yeah, no, I see a rabbit.
I see an old lady.
I see 2 cups.
I see 2 guys about to kiss.
The fox creature has giant ears. Enormous. They look like 2 feet long. And they're sticking straight up with little balls on the end.
So it reported to date only by prospectors hunters in the remote mountains of Washington. Built somewhat on the lines of a coyote, somewhat on the pattern of a bobcat, but with ears like a jackrabbit. Now, that does not really scan, I feel, because, think about, a bobcat has, big, feet for, snow, and then a jackrabbit has big ears for heat dispersal. That's Allen's rule. Similar animals in hot places will have longer extremities than in cold places.
Something about this that I think is very important here. The squink isn't particularly fussy about its diet, but has a great fondness for electric eels.
They do not live anywhere near North America.
No. Well, I gotta tell you, this is our first electric type.
Oh, yes.
Do you think this is our Pikachu clone?
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a great point. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Previous few miles of travel on a heavy feed of electric eels generates a substantial charge of static, and these alternating currents produce a series of brilliant discharges which invariably please and attract the traveler, who follows and is never seen again.
Ooh.
Damn, got that Alola Pokedex entry.
Yeah, it does. So, yeah, this is your Pikachu clone. Absolutely.
River region?
Yeah, I like that. And some kind of gimmick ability, surely.
I feel like an illusion sort of ability, like Zoroark, along those lines. All right, the next one is a come out of body.
Come out of body. This is a beast in this 1910 book.
Reported by Mr. B.B. Bickford of Gorham, New Hampshire. Not found outside the White Mountains. A short, stubby, rather small animal resembling a woodchuck, but having very soft, velvety, kitten-like, fur. Harmless, but surprising. Has the terrifying habit of suddenly rushing directly at you from the brush, and then stopping only a few inches away and spitting like a cat. A strong, mink-like scent is thrown, and the come-out-of-body rushes away. Okay.
I have a theory for you.
I have a theory. Yep.
Could this be a ghost type?
Ooh.
Because of how spooky it is.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I was thinking early rodent. Could it be both? Ghost normal, early rodent. What do we think?
My rodent comment is there's one late on the list that I think might fit the bill for that one really well.
Okay.
But I think this should be in the running. Absolutely. Maybe we won't decide until the end.
All right.
So for now, I think it'll be our early rodents.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, ghost normal or early rodents. And kind of a grass field.
Yeah, and I said ghost normal because it doesn't seem to be spectral in nature.
Yeah,
but it is spooky.
It is absolutely spooky.
It's an early rodent. It'll spook you. You won't feel it.
Dingmaul.
Dingmaul. Also called Plunkus. What? Okay, I gotta calm down.
It's also in the 80th. It's the next entry here.
In fact, above timberline in the coal between Mount Adams and Mount Jefferson, this guy needs an editor so bad.
Of the presidential range, there's a conspicuous flat-topped boulder, which for many years has been called Dingmaul Rock.
Dingmaul Rock. Dingmaul Rock. Conclusive, exhaustive researches have clearly proven the existence of 2 distinct varieties. Got some regional forms.
Ooh, yeah, we have 2 different types.
The Northeastern, and then it does not list the second type.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so both varieties are cat-like, being long, slim, slick, sorry-looking gentlemen having wolf-like pelts. What the fuck do you think a cat is? Their bodies are long with short,
powerful legs.
So powerful, these legs. As Irving Cobb has put it, you know Irving.
Yeah.
You know Irving really well.
It's a low rider.
Yeah. Oh, it's a low rider.
Tall, very long, frequently twice the length of its body. But the California variety, this is the other variety, carries a medium-sized bony ball on the end thereof. Oh.
This is used to keep off flies, to pound on dead trees, to produce a supply of soft silvers for lining the nests. Okay, trees make silvers? Maybe it means slivers. And in the mating season, to beat on the male's chest to call his mate. The female also wears a ball a shade bigger than the male's. Damn right, females are strong as hell. But she only uses it to bean him when he gets too obstreperous.
We'll leave it at that.
I have a coworker who is like that. She's a lioness.
The cry of the eastern.
I work at a zoo.
The cry of the eastern species is a dreadful, horrendous wail, while called the western variety sharply resembles the toot of a logging donkey.
Branch evolution with the ball-tailed cat.
Ball-tailed cat turns into each of these.
Yes. This is a branch evolution, so like it can turn into one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Branch evolution. What are the types? Are they just like different kinds of like rocks?
The California one, I think, keeps the rock typing.
Okay. We haven't done anything fairy yet. Not the time for that, I don't think.
What is the typing of the ball cat?
Rock.
Just rock.
Just rock. Steel? Maybe that's what it is?
Yes, just steel. Like a horrendous wail, like maybe it's like a
like a screeching sound.
Yeah, like metal on metal.
Metal on metal. Okay. One's rock, one's steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the region is
mountain areas like the ball tail?
Mountains, but also maybe the steel ones are, let's fuck around. Let's say that the northeastern one, the northeast is more tamed.
Yeah.
Right? Than the West Coast in this time. So let's say that it hangs around like steel mills and Pittsburgh type places. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's a Pittsburghy one.
Yeah, it closes at 8.
All right.
That was a thing. My friend went to Pittsburgh and everything closed at 8 and he wasn't sure why.
You want to quick do the ad read?
Yeah. So we lost a bet. So let's go to a mid-roll ad.
Who's that Pokémon?
Oh gosh, I want to listen to something, but there's just no podcasts in this country. What must I do?
Have you considered going to a different part of the country?
What? A part of the country where there's giant, strange monsters, maybe? I bet there's nothing like that.
Every week, it's the Kaiju Weekly podcast.
Oh my gosh!
The show where they go over different kaiju movies and they tell you about their experiences and they explore what's new in the world of kaiju. Travis and Michael are the hosts, and every week they bring you live information about kaiju.
Will they tell me whether or not Kong or Godzilla should have won?
They will.
Will they tell me if Clifford counts as a kaiju?
They won't, but they'll talk about it.
Will they ever have, like, someone named Adam and someone very attractive as a guest co-host for an episode about Digby, the greatest dog in the world, an obscure British TV movie?
Yes, they will. You can find Kaiju Weekly Podcast wherever podcasts can be found.
Well, consider me sold. I'll take 10 of a podcast.
It's Arbok!
All right, next one on the list here is the Dung-Aven-Hooter.
The Dung-Aven-Hooter. Now, here's a problem with this.
It's hard to pronounce.
It needs to be 10 characters. That was a rule at some point in the Pokemon world.
Well, we probably Pokemonize all these names, right?
Yeah. Formerly quite common from Maine to Michigan. Today only occasionally met on the upper peninsula of the latter state. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a Dung-Aven-Hooter. A marsh dweller, dangerous to human beings, shaped a good deal like an alligator, but curious as to equipment in that he has no mouth. Nostrils are abnormally large, the legs are short, the tail thick and powerful, concealing itself with satanic cunning
behind a whiffle bush.
The dung hoover awaits the passing logger. On coming within reach of the dreadful tail, the victim is knocked senseless and then pounded steadily until he becomes entirely gaseous, whereat he is greedily inhaled through the wide nostrils. Rum-sodden prey is sought with a special eagerness. God damn!
What a monster.
Damn, son. What? Why don't I call it son? This is my son. His name is Dungavanhooter.
The nostrils inhaling the gaseous remains of a person makes me think of something like a fire type.
I mean, I don't think it's fire, because it doesn't do anything with fire specifically.
We might find no monsters that do anything with fire. Fire is sometimes a multiplier, like for Moltres or Growlithe. You know? I could see a fire version of this. The one that eats ants heat more. It kind of it's a fiery anteater.
Satanic cunning makes me think dark type. It mentioned the word Satan in here.
I guess we can call it a dark type, which is an evil type in Japan. Do you also want to say dark water because of its crocodile-like appearance?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dark water.
I was thinking it needs a second type, you're right.
Yeah. So that makes sense. And let's see. Its role, it seems like another one for that wetland area. This seems like a Pokemon that a gym leader would base their whole aesthetic around.
Oh, yeah, gym leader signature.
Yeah, gym leader signature. Philomaloo bird.
Philomaloo bird.
80th.
Oh, also called the Goofus bird. Okay, so just strike that one from the list.
Oh, great. We just lost a bird, everybody.
We just killed a bird. Adam, you know what we've done?
We've killed a bird?
We've killed 2 birds.
With 1 stone.
With 1 stone.
All right, get out of here, Goofus.
A curious character varying widely from the usual run of feathered animals, birds and dinosaurs.
It's a backwards flying bird that builds its nest upside down. That's absolutely a Pokemon, ain't it?
Yeah, it's also a bird distinctly low in intellectual curiosity. It's just a dumbass bird.
That is a type of Pokemon, isn't it? The dumbass bird. Yeah, builds its nest upside down. It's just one of those weird birds midway through, like a Natsu or a Zatu. You know?
Yeah. What if it's like going back in time or something? Like that's its whole deal. It's some crazy shit. What's the dumbass type?
You can just make him normal.
Yeah, normal.
Or psychic. Make it like a psychic bird. Because it's doing upside down stuff like a giraffe or
yes,
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Psychic flying?
Yeah, I guess psychic flying.
I think this is also an underpowered gimmick.
Underpowered gimmick.
Yeah, and I think its gimmick is like some kind of time travel ability thing.
Mm-hmm. I could also see it like being an early gym leader's Pokemon. Like doing a thing.
Yeah. Like maybe Gym 3. I think it should have a time travel kind of.
I'll put that here. It could be like an ability.
Yeah, I wonder how that would work. Like
it takes 2 attacks or something like that, and I don't know. I could see an attack that it has that's like time attack, and it's like you do some damage now, but it's also like future sight. You deal damage later too.
Yeah. It's like a tenant bird.
Oh wow! I don't even. I'm glad our podcast has gotten to the phrase tenant bird. Funeral Mountain Terra Shot.
Terra Shot, use bubble beam.
This is in the original.
Oh, what does a Terra Shot look like?
I think that's it. Folks, we're seeing like the legs of a horse, but then if you stopped halfway through the horse and put like a frog head on it.
I like how you said that like we were watching the Macy's Day Parade.
Funeral range in California. Mm-hmm. Casket-like body, 6 to 8 feet long, with a shell running the whole length of its back. Its forelegs are long and wobbly, causing the Terra Shot to sway uncertainly from side to side, and forward and backwards as it travels along. Alright, this is some weird...
The strange beast was first reported by some Mormon immigrants who observed a peculiar procession entering the desert from certain mountain range. Okay, so...
Desert.
Mormons.
Because it's shaped like a casket, might be a, like, kind of ghost or dark.
It feels pretty ghosty to me.
This is actually a perfect ghost. Seems like the animal lives in little meadows and parks in the higher portions of the range, where it gradually increases in numbers until by a strange impulse, it is seized by a desire to emigrate. Then they form long processions and march down in the desert. Oh, that sounds terrifying, of them marching on the horizon.
That's some night marchers, like a Hawaiian sort of thing. Ooh. As they encounter the hot sands, they rapidly descend with the heat, and one after another they blow up with resounding reports, leaving deep, grave-shaped holes in the sand.
This is the absolute correct amount of creepiness for a Pokemon text entry.
Yes.
Yeah. Fire ghost?
I guess, yeah, it's called Terra Shot.
yeah, perfect.
I think it should be maybe ground.
This is the first one that has any fire in it. It blows up.
Okay.
Fire ghost.
It lives in desert. That works. Okay.
Single evolution.
Single evolution. Extremely terrifying.
Yeah. It goes in one of those top 10 creepy Pokedex entries. YouTube.
You know,
videos.
we have a lot of single evolutions.
Oh, okay. So maybe second evolution or third.
I think it has like a thing where it like only appears at a certain time of day.
Ooh. Yeah, like a sunset.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Fur-bearing trout. The picture is exactly what you might think. It's a trout with like a thick coat of fur. Also known as the furry trout. It's a legendary creature that a species of trout that grows a thick coat for warmth in cold climates. This could be an ice type.
Yes, it could. At some point, I remember reading something about somebody writing a letter, and there are many animals and trout which bear wonderful furs or something like that, and like the person's relatives on the other side were like, oh, okay, the trout bear fur, but that's crazy.
One of the theories is that due to 4 jugs, or 2 bottles, of hair tonic being spilled into the Arkansas River, this creature was created. I wonder if that means it's like kind of poisoned.
Well, in ice water?
Yeah, ice water. Sounds great. Yeah, it's got the thick fat ability. Yeah, I can design a Pokemon or two. There's always an ice region, right?
There is always an ice region. Roll. Do we think this could be legendary? Because this is one that like people know about, you know?
It's got a very sad legendary, just the hairy fish. This feels more like our Goldeen. Like, this is what you catch most of the time when you fish.
Oh, you know what? This is our Magikarp, or our Feebas. This is something that's going to turn into something really fucking cool.
Yeah, I like that. Our shitty fish that evolves into something cool. Let's look out for what the cool thing it turns into. Gilly-Galoo bird.
Whoa! Where did that voice come from? That was appropriate for that word.
The word Gilly-Galoo, something must summon that voice.
Whoa! Dum-dum. That was it. It was the Great Gazoo from the Flintstones.
The Gilly-Galoo bird is a bird that lays square eggs that do not roll.
That's interesting, because I remember reading a paper once about how you can tell where a bird nests by how pointy its egg is. So, like, if it's nice and round, it, like, just nests in, like, a normal nest or, like, a tree or something. But if it's, like, very pointed, it nests on cliffs. So that, like, when it rolls in a little circle. How you always, like, turn your wheels when you park on a hill, you know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It also says that the eggs are also spotted, giving them the characteristic of dice.
Ooh.
If they're hard-boiled. Yeah, so maybe some kind of, like, gambling bird.
Ooh.
But I guess, some Pokemon are based off, like, Honchkrow, for example, is a bird that looks like a mobster. I'm saying this might be something similar to that.
Lord, I was born a gambling bird. Very, very folksy in my song choices for today, I think.
Yeah, well, what kind of folksy typing would you give this guy?
Definitely has some kind of, like, luck-based ability.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Luck ability.
Yeah.
It's a lucky bird.
Fairies have to do with luck, I think.
Yeah, some kind of fairy bird.
It's called a Gilly-Galoo.
Fairy, I think, is perfect. Do you want just fairy?
Instead of fairy flying?
Yeah, I mean, basically every bird is a flying type.
It does not mention that it's flightless.
So it can fly. That's fine. This does feel like a gym leader signature Pokemon.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like a gambling. Like.
Oh yeah.
Like an old timey, lumberjack gambling hall.
That sounds awesome.
Like that's a gym.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool guy.
Like the lumberjacks, they gamble because it's hard on the lumber trails.
Glawwuckus.
Wow.
Is it some kind of like chimera?
It looks like something between a bear, panther, and a lion. The Glawwuckus is also known as a northern devil cat. Is known for its fearsome screech that compares with the cackle of a hyena. The creature is blind and uses its sense of smell as well as sound waves. Looking into the creature's eyes is said to wipe the victim's memory.
This guy.
Damn.
What do you think that this is a legendary? Yeah, look at this photo and tell me if this is a legendary or not.
That's a legendary.
Yeah, it's a powerful chimera of sorts.
I don't think it's a chimera because it's
okay. Not those exact animals, but sometimes, often in the fearsome critters, animals are combined for comic effects. These I think for the most part, he comes out on top.
Yeah.
These are for his advantage, adding all these animal parts.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's a legendary.
All right, cool. Give him a ghost type.
Oh, you think he's ghost?
Or psychic. Because he does wipe memories. He senses smell and sound waves, and he's blind. So, like...
Those are all great psychic points.
Yeah.
Psychic legendary.
Legendary, but, like, not like a big legendary.
No, one of those, like, one of the ones that roams a region after you...
Yes.
Like, afterwards.
Yeah, like a roaming legendary.
Yeah, so he's all over the place.
Yeah, we don't need to pick one.
Gumbaroo.
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 It's so much fun and easy to do. It's the Gumbaroo.
Your girlfriend listens to this show.
The Gumbaroo is a nearly hairless, bear-like brute of the Pacific coast.
An uncommon but nevertheless well-known and thoroughly authenticated animal. Paul Bunyan often met them in the upside-down country.
Has a rubbery hide that bounces back anything thrown at it.
Friend of the show, Paul Bunyan.
Bullets will rebound if they're fired on it.
Damn. Okay.
They can be killed when a force fire causes them to explode, leaving behind a rubbery smell. So, weak to fire.
Fire. The Gumbaroo was usually found in burnt lands. Practically an indestructible animal. Bullets always bounce from his taut hide, but heat would make him swell and explode. Always found in burnt lands, but heat makes him swell and explode. What am I?
He looks, correct me if I'm wrong, but does he look buggish to you?
He does have 6 limbs.
Yeah, and he's really dangling from a tree like that. He's like a bear bug almost.
Yeah. And he does have kind of like that swollen back part. I think this might be a bug type.
All right. And I like the idea of a bulky bug type. Those guys usually got the short end of the stick, so...
Yeah, bulky bug type.
He's not an early bug. He's like a late, harder to find bug.
Yeah, I think it should be a 4-time weakness to fire.
Okay.
Because I think he needs another type.
Bug grass is common. Let's see. Other things are like ice. Steel.
He's got 3 bowed rear legs, each with a clawed foot clutching an iron ball the same as an iron stove. Oh, well, that'll do it.
Bug steel.
Bug steel. Often met in the upside-down country. What does that mean?
I have no idea. It sounds like part of the game, though, so I'm going to put it in here.
Yes.
So, hide behind.
A hide behind.
An adorable creature from the 80th printing, or Wikipedia.
Ursus dissimulans. So this is a bear.
A bear.
This is a bear.
An animal that seizes loggers and devours them. This animal is said to be so swift that it can hide behind the nearest tree before being seen. That's what it's doing in that photo.
A highly dangerous animal, but owing to its intense aversion to the odor of alcohol, never known to attack an inebriate. 1 bottle of Uno beer has been proven to be a complete safeguard even in thickly infested country.
So it doesn't like getting drunk.
No, it hates drinking, hates drugs.
Hates alcohol.
Leaping from its hiding place with a demoniacal laugh, it swiftly disembowels its victim with 1 swipe. Sometimes the fiendish howl frightens the prey to death before the blow falls. Oh, this thing knows Parish Song.
Oh, is it... Do we put it in like this kind of spooky category then? Like a dark type? Like a grass dark?
You know what? It does seem like stealthy and kind of creepy, so I'm going to say... Do we have a grass dark yet?
No, we don't.
We've been throwing around grass and dark a lot. Let's say grass dark.
Okay. Grass dark. Where in the game would he be found? My guess is that he's a final evolution of something you get early on.
Yes.
Like a slacking, kind of to a slack off you get early.
Yeah, but like a dark
forest, yeah. Like the Alex forest.
Yeah. There's going to be multiple forests.
I feel like I'm too good for this job. I feel like I do this in my sleep. We've got 2 more for this section. The Hodag.
The Hodag.
Classic Hodag. He's has a spade-shaped bony growth at the end of its nose.
Hates lemons.
Uses growth to level trees containing natural prey porcupine.
So it looks essentially like a big lizard with some claws and like a big mammal-like face and like spikes going down its back.
I've got a connection to make with you. You recall the cactus cat? A creature with like quills and stuff like that. We call it a steel type.
Oh, yeah.
If this thing eats porcupines, maybe it's like a fire type that munches down on steels.
Well, here's the thought. Does this evolve from Cactus Cat?
Oh, it evolves into something that eats porcupines?
Yeah.
So it went from eating cactuses to eating porcupines.
They both eat spiky things.
Okay. Evolution of cactus cats. Let's do it.
Oh, wait, hang on. The Hodag is fully aware of its upsetting appearance and is given to frequent fits of bitter weeping. I once had a handful of the extremely rare crystallized Hodag tears, but an acquisitive lady friend collected them, believing them to be fine amber. She had them strung into a neck yoke and then went and spilled a Tom Collins on herself. Of course, the lemon juice dissolved them instantly. Do we think this is related to our squonk friend?
I don't know about that. His he doesn't turn into a mush.
No, he does cry, though.
Yeah. Some animals cry. Sometimes animals just get sad. I don't know how to tell you.
Okay, director of SeaWorld.
I think you made a good point earlier about connecting to the cactus cat. Having it be the final evolution. Maybe the final evolution is a little sad.
All right. Well, it just seems like these are two different animals that both cry because of how ugly they are.
Oh. Maybe compared to the squonk, they're like one of those pair Pokemon.
Oh, a rivalry.
Yeah, it's a rivalry Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah. Rival of the squonk. Like a Zangoose and Viper.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we might make Squonk legendary. I'm gonna make you immortal.
Well, what's its typing? Just because he cries, I don't think that makes him a water type.
2 lateral horns, something after the fashion of the male stag beetle. Let's say bug.
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 The Hodag's a bug.
Hodag's a bug. Yeah, get over it.
You think he's an early bug?
Ladder evolution.
Ladder evolution. Cool. That's a Hodag. And finally, to end part 1, we have the hoop snake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole hoop of a snake.
It's a whole hoop of a snake.
Yeah, the hoop snake, as you know, is a snake which bites its tail to to enable it to roll like a wheel. This is absolutely, like, it has Pokemon energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally see this thing rolling around.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go... I know there's been a lot of snake Pokemon. Like you have Seviper, poison type, Ekans, poison type.
The tail ends in a stinger carrying venom of such power that a dose of but 0.003 parts per million is sufficient to make even the leather-skinned Hodag turn green and swell up and die inside of an hour.
I think in that case, we absolutely have to make it poison.
Yes.
It might evolve into something that's poison something else, too.
Yeah, but I think this is pure poison.
Pure poison. Absolutely. It's a wheelie snake that's poison.
There are many authentic cases of death from this reptile's venom. Possibly the most convincing bit of data is that in a fit of pike, the hoop snake stung one of Paul Bunyan's PV handles. Of course, this handle was a sizable stick to start with, but the venom swelled it to such dimensions that Paul cut it up into 946 cords of wood. And then the dang stuff wouldn't burn, just lay in the stove and hissed.
Poor Paul Bunyan.
Poor Paul.
All right, that brings us to a close for part 1.
That it does.
Tune in next time when we get into even more creatures, fearsome creatures from these lumber woods.
Yep, we're going to wrap this up and maybe talk some world building stuff for this region, I feel.
Yeah, join us then. Until then, I'm Adam.
I'm Allie. Gotta catch 'em all!